Welcome everybody to another DBD video. I'm going to be making Huntress, about her lore, and also a build towards the end. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know she got a new skin as recently, which is a Baba Yaga skin. If you've never seen it, I'm going to show you right now. And here it is, the ultra rare set of Baba Yaga. As a cruel executioner, her voice deepened and haunted the nightmares of children. That's how she looks like. She even has her own separate pose. She even has her own lullaby when she's in the game. And also she has different noises which she moors people. When she gets stunned by a pallet. And also when she throws hatchets, which is really cool. I really like that a lot. I might show you it later on in the future, but right now I don't really have arc cells for it. Maybe I'll find like another video and I'll just like put credit on it. But yeah, she's very cool skin. Love the hair, love the hatchets. And when it says the haunted the nightmares of children, that's gonna come into play when we read her lore. So yeah, let's do that. Let me just switch back to her original skin and we can read through lore, and I hope you guys enjoy. As soon as Anna was able to walk, her mother started teaching her how to survive a harsh, solitary life in the northern woods. Living in such an extremely remote and dangerous area required skill and resilience. When sunlight became too dim for productive activities, they would take refuge in their house, a sturdy old cabin constructed to resist the toughest winters. Close to the hearth's warmth, Anna would rest in her mother's arms, surrounded by the wooden toys and masks she had crafted for her. Drifting off to sleep with stories and lullabies, she dreamt happy dreams, ignorant of the events that would soon change everything. Anna and her mother were stalking a great elk through the woods. They knew it was dangerous prey, but it had been a particularly difficult winter, and they were almost out of food. The specter of starvation frightened them more than any forest creature. Without warning, the elk reared, bellowed, and charged at Anna. She was paralyzed with fear as the world seemed to shake under the immense beast-pounding hooves. The elk was close enough for Anna to see the murderous fury in its eyes when her mother threw herself in its path, axe in hand. A blood-curdling scream escaped from her lips as the elk impaled her upon its antlers and hoisted her up into the air. With all her strength, she brought her axe down on its head again and again while it tried to shake loose. With a sickening crack, the antlers snapped and Anna's mother was free. The beast collapsed. Anna was too small to move her mother's broken body, so she sat with her in the clearing where she had fallen. To distract her from the dying elk's cries, Anna's mother held her and hummed her favorite lullaby. They stayed like that, the huntress and the elk getting quieter and colder, until Anna was alone in the silent forest. Eventually, she stood up and started the long walk back home. Still a child, she knew just enough about life in the frozen forest to survive. She followed her instincts and became one with the wild. She got older and stronger and practiced her hunt. As she grew into a dangerous predator, her humanity became a half-remembered dream. She widened her territory and lived off her hunts. She worked her way up through squirrels and hares and mink and foxes. Eventually, she grew tired of them and hunted more dangerous animals like wolves and bears. When unsuspecting travelers came through her woods, She discovered her new favorite prey, humans. Unlucky souls who strayed into her territory were slaughtered like any other animal. She liked to collect their tools and colorful garments, and especially toys, when they were little ones. But she could never bring herself to kill the little girls. Girls she would take back to her house deep in the woods. They were precious, and looking at them woke something deep in her heart. She craved the closeness of a loved one, a child of her own. Among the pillaged wooden toys, dolls and storybooks she couldn't read, the girls would be tied by the neck with a rough and chafing rope, fastened firmly to the wall. She couldn't let them wander off, or they would surely die outside. Every time, the girls would waste away and die of cold, or starvation, or sickness. Every time, it plunged Anna deeper into pain and sorrow and madness. She was compelled to try again, and started raiding the nearest villages to slaughter families and kidnap their daughters. She wore one of the animal masks her mother crafted for her so many years earlier to try and calm the frightened children. Villagers spread the legend of a half-beast lurking in the red forest, the Huntress, who killed men and ate little girls. War eventually came to the forest. German soldiers began to pass through on the march to attack the collapsing Russian Empire. During these dark times, there were no more travelers. The villagers had abandoned their homes, and no more little ones to be found, only soldiers. Many of them were found with violent axe wounds. Whole groups disappeared mysteriously. Once the war was over, the rumors of the Huntress disappeared with it, engulfed by the Red Forest. Well, that was very, I don't even know what to put into words. That's crazy. She captured little girls and fondness of how she was when she was younger. Her mother died at a young age when they were living in the Red Forest by an elk that the mother killed herself as well. And she would always sing a lullaby in order to calm her from many things, which is it's crazy how a little girl can live in the forest for so long, and in order to survive, she ends up becoming one with the forest and starts becoming a huntress in a completely different type of way that her mother did. So yeah, that's the Huntress, and that's her story. She's a very, very scary killer when you actually go against her in the actual game. She's very tough to go against. Her hatchets have very long range when it comes to just throwing them, and not only that, the moment the hatchet hits a survivor, they get injured. So instead of like Trickster or any other Deathslinger, they have to shoot them and then reel them in and then attack, and then that's when the damage happens. For Huntress, it's just a straight up injury the moment the hatchet makes contact with the survivor. Like Trickster as well, it takes 8 knives in order to injure the survivor, so it takes 8 simultaneous hits in order for them to get injured. But Huntress doesn't need that, and that's why she's one of the most popular killers in the game. Actually, she's number 3, I think, from the last time I saw. So yeah, she's definitely a very popular killer. But yeah, let's go look at her builds that I would recommend. So now we're gonna go to her loadouts, and I'm gonna pick the first one that we already have, which is a build I use personally myself because I think it's pretty strong and I enjoy using it. And the first perk we're gonna have is Goes the Weasel. So a deep bond with the entity unlocks great strength. After hooking a survivor, the next generator you damage instantly loses 25% of its progress. Normal generator regression applies the after damage generator action. So meaning basically, and then Pop Goes the Weasel is active for 45 seconds after the survivor is hooked. So meaning basically you have to chase the survivor and then get them from healthy to injured, and then injured down, and then hook them on one of the close by hooks nearby. You have 45 seconds to go to the generator and hit it with Pop Goes the Weasel in order to lose 25% of his progress instantly. So it's like very good, and not only that, like after that, the normal generator regression after kicking it applies too. So basically, I think when you only kick it, it only takes like 2% off. When this one goes straight up to 25%, and then it's extremely good in order to run on any killer, in my opinion. And then next we have Iron Maiden, which you open lockers 50% faster. Survivors who exit lockers suffer from the exposed status effect for 30 seconds and scream, revealing their location. The main reason why you want to bring this perk is because Huntress has hatchets. She only has 5, and every time she goes to the locker, she can reload them, which is great. So being able to open the locker 50% faster means that you can reload 50% faster, which is great. And not only that, I think there's some add-ons with it that can increase the speed. So if you don't want to run Iron Maiden and you want to run another perk, you can run an add-on that it already has, which I think is this one. Yeah, Deerskin Gloves. Decreases the time reload hatchets at lockers by 20%. Or I think you can just stack them together and makes it even faster. So I think from 50 to 70% faster opening lockers, which is great. I definitely recommend that if you ever want to try that. Then next we have Barbecue and Chili. So after hooking a survivor, you can see all the survivors that are 40 meters away from you for 4 seconds. Their auras, like this red aura that they have around them. So say they're working a generator from far away, you can see them with a red aura, and you can go straight over there and pop it with Pop Goes the Weasel. So it's really good. Or you really go kick the generator to pop it with Pop Goes the Weasel. And then we have Thrilling Tremors. After that, we have, after picking up Survivor, all generators not being repaired by survivors are blocked by the entity. So basically, the generators get blocked the moment you pick up a survivor for 16 seconds. So when they get blocked, they get highlighted white, and the generator's auras, original auras, are red. So if we see, you know, like 3 generators or 4 generators, however many that the game has left, you see like 4 of them white, and then you see 1 red, and you're like, wait a second, that's supposed to be blocked. That a survivor is working on that generator, so you go straight over there and go stop them from working on it. And not only that, you probably push them away. After you push them away, you can use Pop Goes the Weasel and regress the generator by 25%. So it's a really good info perk. I definitely highly recommend it. The only thing that's kind of like rough about it is that it only triggers every 80 seconds. I'm pretty sure it decreases by 10 if you get a level 3, so I think 70 seconds. So it's like if your chase ends short after finish hooking a survivor, then the Thrilling Tremors won't work again. So it has to be a little bit longer, and the chase has to last a little bit longer. So it's not the greatest if you like snowballing survivors. But this is the build I would use personally myself, but there are also other builds that you can use that I don't have, unfortunately, because I don't play Huntress as much, but I can still recommend perks I know Huntresses run. So a lot of Huntresses, when they want to get chases done very quickly, they'll run Bamboozle, which is a bamboozle. It makes you vault windows 15% faster, and the window gets blocked for 16 seconds. So it's really good to stop chases when they start looping. Very, very good, because there's certain loops that Huntress, you know, struggles on, which are usually like jungle gyms that have like a pallet on one side, and on the complete opposite end of the jungle gym there's a window, and it's really hard because there's like corners that are around it. So not only does Huntress lack and like vision, because she's slower than the base killers of certain killers. Killers who have range usually are slower. So basically, she would like be 110, and regular killers are 115. So it becomes very, very difficult in order for her to keep up with the other survivors and things like that. So And then when she tries to rev up her hatchet, she even becomes slower by another 5% or 3%. I'm not sure. So it becomes like a big struggle when it comes to jungle gyms. Usually you just use Bamboozle to cover it. Very good. Next we have Hex Undying. While Hex Undying is active, survivors within 2 meters of any dull totem have their aura revealed. When another Hex totem is cleansed, that totem's Hex transfers to Hex Undying's totem. Deactivating Hex Undying. Any tokens the transferred Hex had are transferred as well. So meaning this thing will be run with Undying, Hex Ruin, Throw the Hunt, you know, Noed maybe, and things like that. It's a very good perk to run when it's synergized with others. So that's definitely one I highly recommend. It's very good. Another one like people like running that is a passive type perk, passive aggressive I say is basically Thanatophobia. Because for each injured, dying, or hooked survivor, all survivors receive a 5% penalty, to a maximum of 20% to repairing, sabotaging, and totem cleansing speeds. So it becomes really good when you like snowballing and things like that, and you want to be really aggressive. This is the thing I would recommend running. So it'll be Thanatophobia, Bamboozle, Hex Ruin, and Hex Undying. It's a fairly good build in order to get gens off and things like that. And get survivors off of gens in order for Hex Ruin to do his thing. If it gets cleansed, then Hex Undying will back it up. If it gets cleansed again, then it'll be gone, which makes them have to scavenge around the map for a little bit longer than they would want to. And we have Thanatophobia, so if you're playing a very aggressive Huntress and you want to like them injured and you want them hooked or dying, things like that, they get 5% penalty for repairing, sabotage, and totem cleansing, which is great. So we have Bamboozle, Thanatophobia, Hex Ruin, and Hex Undying. Very good build. I definitely would recommend those. And probably another good build would be Barbecue and Chili, No Way Out, Blood Warden, and Pop Goes the Weasel. Would be good perks. So Barbecue and Chili makes you see auras from 40 meters, and you get a stack of bonus blow points. So it encourages you to hook different survivors, while also stacking it with No Way Out, which basically you have to hook individual survivors in order for their exit gates to be blocked for 12 seconds, which is really good. I definitely recommend those. So it goes from 12 to 24 to 36 to 48. So it gets 4 tokens, and you can block the exit gates for 48 seconds. And the thing that's best about it is that the perk doesn't activate unless they touch an escape gate. So they have to touch the escape gate and then it activates. So it'll probably take like another 30 seconds in order for them to find one, because say they finish a generator, but then 2 of them are hooked, one person's like just finished a gen, and the other one is injured trying to heal in the other corner of the map. It'll take them like about 30 seconds in order to get the save or finish the heal and then get the save. And probably one of the hunters is gonna find one of the survivors that were injured or healthy that finished a generator and chase them. So that's very good, and it takes like 30 seconds in order to do that. And once they get to the escape, they're like, okay, so maybe after all that I could go and, you know, get out of here because I don't want to screw my teammates. I don't care about them. It gets blocked for another 48 seconds. So, and then not only that, it lets you know, it gives you a loud noise notification that they are touching the exit gate switch. So very good. And basically it's really good info and stuff like that. And then you have Blood Warden. So after they open it, you know, say that they're like so good and they kind of want to beat them a little bit, you'll hook the survivor that you're chasing. Now you'll be chasing the survivor, you'll down them, and then you'll hook them, and then the exits, even though they're already open, are blocked because it has like this little doorway they have to go through in order for them to leave. That thing will be blocked, and they'll be there for an additional 60 seconds. And not only that, their auras are revealed if they're at the exit gate. So usually survivors will panic and things like that, and it would be good enough for you to capitalize on that panic and win the game. I definitely recommend those. And if you do want to slow down the game a little bit faster, you use pop, because it's just a good perk. There's a good perk on any killer. It stops generators, and that's like the survivor's only objectives in order to get out. So I recommend that perk. And yeah, that's gonna be it for Huntress. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one. I definitely would. I seem a little out of it today because I think I'm sick or something. But I'll definitely try my best on the next one for sure. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll probably see you in the next one. Alright, bye guys.